Oh my gosh. The reason why this is a red flag is that he rejected all of them except one. I completely wasn't expecting this. She got an offer for $155,000. There's actually a little bit more to the story. Hello and welcome back to another week in the life of what I do every day as a recruiter working at my recruiting agency. Right now, it is Monday evening, had a jam-packed Monday full of 12 calls, I believe 5-6 different interviews spanning from marketing to engineering, and I just finished shooting another YouTube video. I have a couple other potentially new client calls to jump onto this week, which I'm pretty excited about. I still also haven't heard back about the potential offer that we might witness for my ad tech client for the director of paid media position. I also haven't heard back from my candidate as well. She was apparently on vacation. I emailed her on Friday, haven't heard back. I emailed her again this morning, haven't heard back. So I hope it's good news. Other than that, it's been a heck of a day. I am tired, but at the same time, I'm excited to end this week off really, really well. Got a lot of calls, got a lot of interviews planned. If you're as excited as I am, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really means a lot and helps us build an awesome community and an awesome channel. Good morning. Another day and another week. So just a quick update. We actually heard back from our client who said he was going to extend an offer to our candidate on Monday. They actually spoke, went back and forth, and then what happened was that the candidate actually ended up rejecting the offer, which sucks.
Denied.
This is something that I wasn't expecting. It would have been great if it happened, but it turns out that she really wants something that has a better work-life balance, but most importantly, better flexibility. What I mean by that is that no matter how amazing a company is, for example, this client, ad tech company that's doing awesome, growing very, very quickly, they're actually working out of the office right now. And I know this is a very contentious topic. This is a topic that a lot of companies today are still figuring out what to do. Fully remote, fully in office, some sort of hybrid. My client's actually in the office right now. They're not 5 days a week, they're 3 days a week, but a lot of candidates still don't even want that. And even though that my candidate was open-minded in the beginning because she was so intrigued about what my client did as a company and their product and their success so far, ultimately it came down to her lifestyle. Does she want to commute? Where does she see herself living? She really enjoys living outside the city. And even if it's 2 or 3 days of the week, she doesn't want to make that time and effort to go back in the city when she doesn't have to. Her current job is actually fully remote right now. So I totally get it. Very, very disappointing that didn't happen, as I completely wasn't expecting this, but I'm going to now focus and allocate some time later this week to hit this again. Hopefully we can find somebody else. We were so close here. But if you saw my previous video, you know that every day when I wake up, I like to kickstart my day drinking some matcha. It's basically green tea on steroids with a lot more antioxidants, health benefits, but most importantly, it's got that amazing, smooth, natural energy release that I love. I love coffee as well, but with coffee, you just shoot up like a roller coaster and then you crash. With matcha, from my experience, you go up, you have a smooth level of energy, and then you slowly taper down. And it's just great. My mind doesn't feel rattled. I don't feel anxious if I drink too much. I can focus and I can work really, really well. Typically with matcha, you pour into like a hot cup and then you whisk it and then you pour more water to drink it properly. But for me, because time is of the essence in the morning and I just want the energy, I would just get a couple spoonfuls of matcha, toss it in a blender, pour some cold water, blend it, and just chug it. This morning, I'm feeling a little tired, so I mixed extra vitamin C, electrolytes, and energy powder in it to give me that extra boost. And depending on how I feel, later in the morning, I would have my ginseng and white tea. And if I really need energy, maybe a little bit of light coffee in the afternoon to help me keep going. But typically, matcha, white tea combination is where I stick to 99% of the time, and I just feel great all morning and all day. Again, not really happy about the results with this position. It was a potentially large commission deal, but hopefully we can dig again, find someone else, find someone better, and make it happen.
All right, look at this. For lunch, made a vegetarian chili with pasta and cheese. Looks so good.
All right, let's try. So good. That's really good. And cheese goes so well with chili. In case you're wondering, this is a pre-made chili from Trader Joe's. Super cheap, super fast. Just added some pasta and some cheese on it. Oh, it's so good. We also make a mean chili ourselves, but time is of the essence. Quick, easy, affordable, and delicious. Gonna finish this off, power through the rest of the day. Okay, so quick update. Do you remember the client that I picked up last week out of California, B2B SaaS open source product, founders coming out of MIT and Google, going to hypergrowth? I'm actively engaging with them on a lead product designer and product manager roles. With these positions though, I'm mainly working off of the job rec and also my brief call I had with the recruiter. Typically, I would always love to chat directly with the founders and the hiring managers because they know exactly what they want. Usually I don't work off the job recs because there's a lot of subtleties, a lot of nuances that you can't really understand through a job rec. Like what are the must-haves? What are the X factors? What are the backgrounds, the types of companies that the hiring manager, the founder is really looking for so that we can really get targeted as much as possible. When I talked to the recruiter for the product manager role specifically, he wasn't really sure what the founder wanted, which was kind of a red flag to me, but we agreed that, starting with at least 2 years of experience, focusing on great product professionals with B2B SaaS background would be a good place to go because he also wasn't sure. The reason why this is a red flag is that a lot of times when you're in recruiting, you're working with hiring managers who don't normally know what they want. And because of that, us as a recruiter will put so much more work or go around the circles looking for candidates that we're not really sure would actually do really well in the interview because we don't know what they're looking for or they don't know what they're looking for. I would rather be crystal clear on that first phone call, 90%, 95, 99% on the exact profile they're targeting so that we can be focused from the get-go. The issue here is that because the recruiter doesn't know what the founder wants, we would have to do the best that we can with the information that we're getting from the job rec and the recruiter who doesn't have a technical background and try to present a group of candidates, preliminary candidates that will be good enough. So that's what we did. We submitted 6 candidates, all about 2 years of experience, B2B. They all had great SaaS experience. Because it was also 2 years of experience, I agreed with the recruiter that they're mainly looking for someone on the junior side. We just got feedback early this morning from the founder and he rejected all of them except one, and he wasn't really too excited about it. Upon digging further from his feedback, a lot of the rejections are the company doesn't have enough prestige, the candidate does not have enough cachet, not working on exciting enough applications. And even though this is great feedback, it's also another red flag because then the founder here, like many other founders, only want to go after the best after the best. They want to go and only have product managers coming out of Apple or Netflix or Facebooks of the world. They only want people coming out of Ivy Leagues or top tier B schools. And if they don't have that background, then they're gonna really struggle. And so that's kind of the gut feeling I'm having right now, that the hiring manager has really high expectations, which is the whole reason why the recruiter is having a tough time bringing people in and packing the pipeline. So when I work with founders or hiring managers like this, it's not a bad thing. We will of course target the top schools, the top companies, but they're a small company. And so you have to understand that attracting people coming out of Amazon's and Facebook and Google will not only be very, very expensive, but it has to also make sense for them too. Why would they leave an established, renowned, stable job for a small startup that could be riskier? So the startup has to be able to offer not only a competitive package, maybe willing to stretch more than they initially anticipated, but maybe, increase the title, call it a senior, call it a lead, to make it more attractive for someone working at these big companies to leave their stable job to join them. So right now, I'm a little bit sad that most of our candidates that I thought were great were rejected. We will, of course, recalibrate our search, really targeting the top tier candidates, but at the same time, we will also do our best to try to find folks who may not necessarily have that background, but who we think could be great, and we'll fight for them if they come in. So as a recruiter, you of course have to do whatever you can to find the ideal candidate, but sometimes if it's unrealistic, you want to maybe target other folks that they normally wouldn't focus on. But then if you can provide really good examples on why you think he or she could be a good fit, then maybe they would consider talking to them. Another point is that the product manager and product designer position, they're getting to a point of being very, very desperate because it's been open for so long and they haven't really interviewed that many people. And Number one, it's because they're only going after the cream of the crop, but then everyone's going after the cream of the crop. So the competition is ridiculous. And number two, not too many people working at mid-size or large companies, especially if they're getting an amazing salary and working at tier 1 brands, would necessarily leave that for an early stage company. I'm gonna have to shift gears. At least one candidate is still alive and gonna be chatting with the founder. Don't really have high expectations on this, knowing just how picky the founder is, but we will shift gears for the rest of the week, really targeting tier 1 companies, tier 1 schools, and hopes to see if we can generate some excitement there. But this is gonna be a lot more difficult than I thought. I'm always up for a challenge, but when I'm working with a founder, it's always great to be working with someone who's willing to be open-minded, who's willing to meet us in the middle. If so much time has gone by, he needs to fill this and he can't fill it because he's only looking for a really niche, a really specific background that's very, very hard to find in this market because everyone's going after them.
In case anybody's wondering, this has been my setup from day one. Don't need a lot. If you're working for yourself or you're running a small business, MacBook Pro, 16-inch, an external USB monitor. Love this because it's also portable, you can travel with it. Obviously AirPods because I'm on the phone a lot, and a phone. But this is literally all you need. And over the past 7 years, I've just upgraded my phone once. I only got the new AirPods just because I lost my old ones. I would have been still using those. I only upgraded my laptop once and upgraded this. But this same table is the same table from IKEA. It has a manual hand crank. Didn't think it made sense to invest in an electronic one, more expensive. Also, just upgrade this. This is a chair from IKEA. Before this, I had another chair from IKEA. But in case you're wondering, a small business setup, this is what it looks like. Nothing too sexy, nothing too exciting, but it does the job.
Honestly, sometimes I wonder how many companies and startups would still be around if they just kept it lean. I understand that depending on what you do, what sort of business you run, what industry you're in, sometimes an office and having a team physically in the office is necessary. But when I started to work for myself, or when I thought about potentially scaling, I wanted to do whatever I can to be flexible and stay remote. So from day one, my team has been remote, has been distributed, and literally this is all you need. You just need a table, you need a screen, maybe 2 screens, a phone, AirPod, whatever you need. But just to get started, I wanted to be as lean as possible. I thought about over the years having an office or co-working spaces, but in my mind, I don't really need that. I can make do with working out of home and not having to worry about the additional overhead and expenses and drama that comes with having a team in person or a physical office that is a lot in rent, especially in New York City. Even though an office is great, and even though in the tech industry where I work in, some companies have amazing offices, it just has to make sense. And I think what we're going through right now, post-pandemic, when it's still a huge debate of whether or not to go back in the office or fully remote or remain hybrid, companies have to decide if they should hold on to offices, and if so, do they have to rethink on how offices are used, because everything has changed now. But in my mind, I think there is an importance to having a physical space where people and a team can come together and collaborate. If you're investing every penny in the beginning on building a brand new office, I don't think that's the smartest thing. Invest in your team, invest in your product, invest in hiring the right people, and then think about the nice snazzy offices in the future. Start with a co-working space. But if you're a solopreneur, if you're a freelancer, or even a small business owner like myself, ask yourself, is an office really necessary, especially in a time where a lot of companies are going fully remote? Be okay with the idea to work out of your home, repurpose your living room, repurpose your dining room, make a small little office. And when you have an office, you don't need a room just for an office. I'm working out of my living room, and all I need is literally a computer, phone, table, and chair to make it happen. So this is it. This is the setup that I had from day one. This is still the setup that I still use after all these years. It's simple, it does the job, and I just like to keep things simple. Right now, the week is going off really, really well as planned. Got about 20 something calls between today and tomorrow. We're heading into Labor Day weekend, so things are really, really slowing down, but really happy with the amount of responses we're getting so far, picking up new jobs for old clients, and continuing through into September, into Q4 with great, great momentum. So got about 12 calls today, picking up a new client, 2 interviews today as well, and we'll see what happens the rest of the week. All right. Just had a jam-packed Thursday today. Just really been sitting on my chair
heads down and focused on sourcing. First half of the day, I focused on product and marketing roles. Second half of the day, went back to engineers, had about 12, 13 calls today with some I believe are amazing candidates that we submitted immediately. Right before this, I just got a call from an old client of ours, a really successful, fast-growing pet startup out of New York City that's going to hypergrowth, and they're looking for product managers. We actually helped place their lead product manager right now, and they're now looking for junior to mid-level product managers that this lead can manage and mentor because they're just scaling all departments, including product. They also can pay very, very well. They're extremely responsive. So in my mind, they're one of the perfect clients that you can work with. So because of that, for the remainder of the day, I'm gonna spend some time and source some product managers in hopes that we can find a couple people before the weekend. Probably gonna also spend some time on it tomorrow. We're going into Labor Day. Things are really slowing down, and next week is a short week. But the more I do now, the better our follow-ups hopefully will yield some great results, responses, and generate more candidate calls next week. So as everyone is getting back into work mode, we're already coming into the week strong, even though it's a shorter one, with great calls to do, further allowing us to keep that pressure on all of our pipelines and pushing all the processes forward. So great Thursday, picking up new business. Also had one more call earlier today with a brand new company that's about to revolutionize group events and group meeting. They're creating a very innovative mobile application. They're raising a Series A. We had a really good discussion about potentially helping them with engineering roles, design roles, and maybe even product. So with everything going on right now, picking up a lot more things, trying to stay sane, trying to breathe and stay calm, and just be systematic in how I approach these jobs. If you've been following me before, you know that I don't like to do everything. I just like to allocate specific jobs per day, per week, so that I can be targeted and detailed and focused. So once I go through some of the positions, I'll work on other positions. Depending on what's going on high level with the pipelines, how many candidates are responding, whether the pipeline is going strong or whether we're not having any interviews for particular positions, that will also help dictate where I will channel my energy for the rest of the week to source more candidates. But overall, it's been a jam-packed week, and it's been an incredible summer. It's been an incredible August so far, and still have one more day before the long weekend.
Happy Friday.
And I guess congratulations.
Thank you so much. It turned out to be a really great fit, and I'm really excited about it going forward.
Wow, well, I'm really, really happy for you and excited to see all the great things you're gonna do. Were you able to iron out an official start date with them?
Yep, I'm going to be starting with them on October 6th.
October 6th, okay. And may I ask, what was the agreed upon the offer or salary that they offered?
So we agreed on a base salary of $155K, and it comes with a 12% bonus, typically around a 20% equity grant every year. That's kind of based on company performance.
Wow, that's an awesome package.
Yeah, I was definitely happy with it. Thank you so much for initially, it was really great to meet the team, and to, interview process, I think, was like a good experience, and I was really excited about this next step. So a big thank you to you.
Oh my gosh. That was a phone call with the candidate who just accepted an offer with a brand new client, health tech giant in New York, and this is our first official deal with them. And the crazy thing is, we had no idea she was at the final stages, let alone accept an offer today. Usually we do our best to stay on top of our candidates. We have great communication directly with our client, but for any reason, they decided to take upon themselves to just communicate directly without me. I mean, usually that's not great. I would love to be kept in a loop, but nothing better than to start off a Friday to end the week with a massive deal. Another thing is that when we submitted her, she told us that she was looking for at least 120 to 130 for her salary. I found out that she accepted an offer that offered her a salary of $155,000 freaking dollars on top of bonuses, and more bonuses and benefits and perks. I'm completely mind blown, but super happy, over the moon. If you've been watching, you know that engineering offers are the hardest to do. So when they happen, and I hope they happen more often and regularly moving forward, but when they happen, it is the best feeling ever. And now I can officially say, ending off literally the summer and August on the last week. It's technically beginning of September, but ending the last week of August with a deal much bigger than anticipated. So huge surprise. I'll take it. Typically, we're more hands-on and we know exactly when an offer is gonna come out if it happens, but sometimes I'll accept it with a smile and grateful. But we got a lot of work to do today, still a lot more calls, a couple more interviews. I'm just pumped, I'm full of energy and really excited for her and to see all the great work that she's gonna do at this company. Okay, so there's actually a little bit more to the story. So I just got the phone with another recruiter at this same health tech company, and he shared with me that they might be looking at another one of our candidates for a potential offer. But the kicker is that they're not really sure yet if they want to hire him. So he went through the whole process. It's been a mixed bag of responses, predominantly pretty positive, but just to make sure that they can really dig deep on some of the concerns about my candidate, they want to do one more round with a couple more people to get additional unbiased opinions. The thing with my candidate is he's fairly on the junior side. He's coming from an unconventional engineering background where the current company he's at, he's really the only engineer. He doesn't really have much experience working with other engineers around his same level, let alone reporting to a manager or someone experienced in that fashion. And because my client has a lot of engineers, they have 30 different teams, about 200 to 300 of them. They just want to make sure that like it'll be a fit there as well. Again, like another complete surprise, a positive one. I don't want you to get the impression that I'm a recruiter who just blindly submits candidates and be completely hands off with the entire process. We're actually the complete opposite. I would rather be with the candidate every step of the way, communicating regularly with the recruiters or the hiring managers directly with our company or our clients so that, you know, if a candidate progresses to a final, we can be there to negotiate the offer terms and ensure a smooth close. What's happening now is that we're working with a health tech company, but they're massive. And typically the bigger and more established and older companies are, the more structured and established recruiting teams that they have with their own flows and processes. So usually the smaller the companies are, smaller startups, I can interface directly with the founders. Here, because they have a huge recruiting team, I'm interfacing directly with the recruiters, not so much the hiring managers. And they have their own flow, they have their own processes, number of stages that they just want to take over the entire process and asks us as external agencies to play more of a secondary role, which is totally cool for me. But with that said, I still like to be as hands-on as possible so that any obstacles in the future, any surprises are minimal. But you know, on a Friday when you have one amazing positive surprise, one potential offer surprise that could happen, I mean, this is awesome. But what I'm gonna have to do now is scramble, retrace my steps, re-engage this candidate, see where he stands. I know he's also interviewing with another tier 1 tech company and a couple other great companies as well, so it's not gonna be an easy close if my client wants to move forward to an offer. What also makes this really cool, if you're watching this, is that this candidate who potentially has another offer is through one of our recruiting partners. One way that I or our team work with other recruiters is we have a really strong network behind the scenes with other recruiters around the country or around the globe. If we find a candidate that could also be great for their clients, we would share them and pitch them the jobs. And so we were able to get this candidate from another one of our great recruiting partners who's actually based out of Asia, which is insane. And if this happens, then we will happily share the commission with her. So this doesn't happen with everyone. Not all recruiters work with other recruiters, but this is just another great tool to utilize to help you find great candidates and keep the pipeline for your clients full. The first candidate that I spoke to this morning who accepted an offer, she came directly from us, so we will get the full commission. But with this deal, if this happens, the second one, we will gladly split it and share it. The way I see it, I'd rather get 50% of one deal than 0% of none. So again, great Friday. I am running late to a lot of calls, just gonna do my best to get through these, make sure all the other interviews happen well, and end the week off with a bang. It is that time of week again where I'm wrapping up my Friday, wrapping up yet again another crazy week of what I do every single day, week, and month, working as a recruiter at a recruiting Agency. So if you remember correctly, we came into this week with some sad news. Our director of paid media deal did not happen. It was a potentially large and lucrative one, but she decided to pull out because she wanted a better work-life balance. And my client, unfortunately, is one of the few companies that are actually in office right now at the time of this shooting, while many companies are fully remote. So that was a bummer, but able to successfully close a engineering position with them. We submitted our candidate initially for $120,000. That was the range, 120 to 130. I just found out that she got an offer for $155,000. $155,000 with a 20% commission placement fee. Our total commission comes out to $31,000, which is an amazing way to end August, to end this summer. So far in this year, we've had our biggest weeks, had our biggest month, and now we had the biggest summer of our career. Super blessed and very, very grateful. Aside from that, we also might have another deal with this same company with a candidate that we got through our recruiting partners. So if you're not an engineer or developer or marketing professional, but you are a recruiting professional, there are many ways that you can work with us behind the scenes on a lot of our open positions, and we can even do the same with yours. So if you're interested to partner with us, to work with us, definitely reach out. We have a network of global recruiters who are amazing in their markets, and it's just nothing but pleasure and great value that we offer to each other. I also heard back from another e-commerce client of ours, a very mission-driven e-commerce company, who reached out to us to ask us if we can help them with a director of production role. This is something we never have done in the e-commerce world. It's a very technical, specific niche position. On top of that, to make it more difficult, a lot more specific criteria that the founder is looking for. We had to be extremely targeted. And as a result, we only sent them 2 people in a couple months, which is really embarrassing. But I just heard from an email about a couple minutes ago, he loved both of them. So the life cycle, the interviewing process has been very, very slow with this company because the founder has been traveling. But after I think 1 or 2 calls with both these candidates, he sends me this email today telling me that he not only loves one, he loves both. And he's potentially looking for a way with this team to maybe hire both of them, which is crazy. We're still 2 for 2. I mean, typically I would want to send a lot more than just 2 candidates to a new client, but the fact that we're 2 for 2, 100% success rate, might close, good chance one of them, but if we can do both, that would be absolutely amazing, and this is with a 20% fee. So I'm really looking forward to going into September, navigating this to see what we can pull off here. I also picked up a brand new client who is building a really cool mobile app about planning and managing group events like bachelorette parties. Super, super cool, well-funded, going to hypergrowth, gonna engage with them on design, product managers, and engineering roles. So that's really, really great. And even though it's always stressful to get more roles on top of what we have, it's not really extra work because a lot of the engineers, for example, the engineering positions that we have with many different clients, they're all looking for the same thing. So you know me, I love to work hard, but I also love to work smart. And the easiest way to work smart as a recruiter is that if I find a really good engineer that's perfect for one job, they could also be perfect for all the other jobs. I would pitch them all the open appropriate positions that I have, maximizing my chance of placing that candidate. And also from the candidate's perspective, it looks like that we're offering them and working hard to provide them with awesome multiple opportunities that they don't have to apply or even think of applying to additional opportunities after that. So it's really a win-win here. And so the design and product are very similar to what I already have. So that just basically means moving forward, every candidate that comes in, if they're good, I just have an extra company or 2 to pitch them. And that's usually how it works. Very excited about this. We connected with a head of engineering who was referred me by an old client. And it's just such a great way to get new business from referrals. In my opinion, it's the best way. In the beginning, it's always really, really hard. You have to cold call, you have to consistently do cold emails, but once you get a business over that hump and you keep performing well consistently over time, then word of mouth marketing happens for your benefits. Happy clients will lead to more new clients. Happy candidates will lead to more candidates. So just keep going, consistent effort will produce great results over time, and just keep at it until the ball picks up momentum and then it just snowballs. If you've seen also my last video, we dropped huge news. Instead of reaching out to me directly on YouTube or Instagram, if you're ever curious about all the active positions we are working every single week, you now have a way to reach out and apply directly through our site. If you're curious, definitely check out the link below. If you know of anyone who might be interested, might be a good fit, we offer up to $10,000 for a successful introduction upon a successful placement. So if you know anyone who's in ops, who's in recruiting, who's in digital marketing, product management, UX design, or engineering, please have them reach out to me. A lot of our positions are fully remote across the country, and a lot of our clients can also transfer and sponsor visas as well. So please definitely think of that. Our team has done a lot this week and this summer. Typically summers are a slow season, but it does not feel slow at all here on the KSF team. We're doing our best so that we can ride the momentum into September, into Q4 to finish off this year with a freaking bang. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's any other aspects of recruiting that you want to see, please reach out to me. If there's any specific opinions or advice or questions or specific aspects about what it's like to work as a recruiter, running your own recruiting business or even a small business, please reach out and we will definitely do our best to incorporate that into future videos. Other than that, I always have tons of fun making these. I hope you found a couple moments where you can learn and laugh and just sit back and enjoy the ride. But I appreciate all of you. Our channel is growing. I'm excited about the future community that we're building. And with that, I am going to officially celebrate today, celebrate this weekend with a brand new position closed with a brand new health tech company, cementing our long-term, hopefully productive and fruitful relationship. So hope you enjoy this. Thank you again. Wishing you guys a happy Friday. If you also had a great week and looking forward to the weekend, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out a lot and means a lot. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend and we'll see you at the next one.